Alright, so this is a NOVEDUCATION podcast.
Yes, we are live. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another episode of NOVEDUCATION. As always, I am your host, Noved. Thank you for tuning in. Please subscribe, follow, rate, review, all that good stuff. It'll help us out tremendously. Also, shout out to the Dead Space Entertainment. We are going to be releasing our The Batman episode later on today, depending on what day you listen to this. Apologize for the sound. If the sound's a little off, we are under construction here, both physically and mentally, here at the Dead Space headquarters. But nonetheless, we're going to get this out. We got a couple of big news to talk about in the football world, obviously. I'm going to be getting this information straight from JPA Football, at JPA Football on Instagram. They're dope. Not a sponsor. I just fucks with them heavy. They're quick with the fucking information, with the news. They have reliable sources, and they don't fuck around. They just put out breaking news, rumors, and all that information. And they give you links. So if you want to go check them out, that's at JPA Football. Again, not a sponsor, but hey, if you guys want to sponsor me, hook me up. All right, but of course, the big news, the big news that broke out yesterday. Right now, it is currently Monday, March 14th, and Tom Brady is back. It only took like a month of retirement, and he realized, I don't want to do this yet. I don't want to just sit around on my ass all day and not do shit, or maybe his wife was tired of him, told him to get the fuck out of the house, But Brady obviously is one of the greatest competitors of our era, you know what I'm saying? And any era of sports, given that matter, labeled the GOAT status. And we all remember, well, I don't really truly remember, but when Michael Jordan had his I'm back moment, people went crazy, you know what I'm saying? And people was going crazy now. And he's coming back with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Of course, that it immediately puts them back at that fucking top category immediately, because Brady's Brady. And the NFC South is not a tough division to win out. So it immediately puts them in playoff contention and maybe even Super Bowl contention. You know what I'm saying? For fantasy purposes, obviously they franchise tagged Chris Godwin. And my last episode, I said that, I thought it was good for them to franchise tag him, but I would have liked to see him test the free agency because of the quarterback situation. But seems like they knew something. They were not going after like Jimmy Garoppolo. They were not going after like Deshaun Watson, Mitch Trubisky. They were not going after any quarterback like that. So it kind of seemed like they were in talks with Brady, throughout the months when he was retiring. Obviously Gronk has been quiet. So if you have these players, if you have Mike Evans, you're fucking happy. If you have Chris Godwin, you're happy. If you have Gronk, I'm holding on to him just for the little bit, just for the time being, maybe you're in a keeper league and there's a certain date you need to hold on to them. Wait to that date. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking to all you fantasy people. Y'all know what I'm talking about. But yeah, and obviously if you have Brady, in your dynasty, you want to hold on to that, because Brady, yeah, it seems like, the Max Kellerman cliff, that he's been long past it. You know what I'm saying? So each and every year he's put on fantasy relevant quarterback stud fucking points, and he always delivers. In big games he delivers, in clutch moments he delivers. So if you have Brady, you have Godwin, you have Evans, you have Rob Gronkowski, sorry. Hold on to them because I think there is value there. Like obviously there's value there. Another news, Kirk Cousins got signed with the Vikings for a 1-year deal, fucking $35 million, fully guaranteed through the 2023 season. I thought that was cool. It seems like they're going all in for this season. And as far as fantasy purposes, yes, if you're a Justin Jefferson owner, you want Kirk Cousins throwing him the ball. You didn't want him to leave. Yes, you could have got another better quarterback. Yes, you could have gone after whatever. But it's just so familiar with Kirk Cousins to where it's like, you know what you're going to get already, which is a top 10 receiver. You know that he's your first target. Jefferson's Kirk Cousins' first target. And, for fantasy purposes, Adam Thielen, he's still relevant. A lot of people saying that he's old and he's done. But I still think he has, as long as Kirk Cousins is there, I think Thielen will be all right. And of course, barring an injury if he stays healthy. So I think for fantasy purposes, the Vikings are good. If you're a Dalvin Cook owner, I'm a Dalvin Cook owner. I mean they're running the ball. They all run the ball. He had the most red zone touches, but didn't score last season, and that was kind of weird. Didn't score as much as as he should have scored. That was kind of weird, but I felt like teams are kind of honing in on that. But still, those touches in the red zone is what you want, and Kirk Cousins just opens that up. So if you're a Dalvin owner, you're holding on to him, of course. If you're a Jefferson owner, holding on to him. If you want to trade Thielen for the value right now for what it is, because as far as receivers and their age, it's not like running backs when you hit a certain age, like that's it. The peak is over. Like you get no value. Shout out Todd Gurley. But receivers, depending on the situation, they could still have a good fantasy outlet for the season. And I think Thielen, he's already getting up there in age. Yes, the dude can ball. Yes, he's still a formidable receiver, a great NFL real life receiver. But I think this is the year you could sell him on that value because you're not going to get too much for him. You maybe get like a couple of second rounders or something like that in a dynasty. If you're in a keeper, you want to trade for maybe a tight end or something, a good tight end, a hopeful tight end who you've been going after. But I think, Thielen right now is that trade value is now before it's no more. You know what I mean? I'm a Dalvin Cook owner, and I think that's pretty good. I think it's a decent, like for a season. Yes, I'm cool with that. But I'm also looking into trade for Dalvin, bro, because hey, running backs age, they don't last. You know what I'm saying? And they're getting up to that. It's when you had these young studs, it's been about 4 seasons already. And 4 seasons is when you really want to start, trying to get that value for maybe look away for someone else. You got these young studs coming in. One of the biggest things that I've been made fun of about is I've been saying that I think this is the year where King Henry slows down, like Derrick Henry. And people are like, what the fuck, you're crazy. Maybe I am crazy, but the fracture in the foot last season, that has nothing to do with anything else but just the toll on the body. And no one else other than Derrick Henry has as much work as he does. And he's a big back, and he takes the punishment. He gives punishment. At the end of the day, man, you're only human. You know what I'm saying? And it's gonna catch up to you, Father Time. Believe me, I know. So I'll be looking for trades for Dalvin if anybody in the 5 to Life League want to, shoot it over. Some good rumors for me personally. I'm a Saints fan. Deshaun Watson. The Saints are going after Deshaun Watson really, really hard. Obviously, I want this to happen. Deshaun, turns out that he's not going to be criminally charged. His criminally charges, are no more. It's all going to be taken care of in civil court. So that's probably like the best option. That is the best outcome for Deshaun Watson. And now teams are going after him. The top 2 teams I thought should go after him were the Saints and the Steelers. Obviously, he's still with Houston. He signed to Houston, and Houston is going to try to get a haul for him. So Pittsburgh is not going to do that. Pittsburgh is not going to sell out their whole squad just for Deshaun Watson for a few seasons, Then I started thinking, like, who else needs a quarterback? Who else is sort of, going through it but still has some value offensively? So besides the Saints, I thought the Seahawks. I thought the Seattle Seahawks, they just got rid they just got rid of Russell Wilson. They have Drew Lock right there. They have Geno Smith. Like, no offense to those quarterbacks, but they're not. I'm talking about fantasy value quarterbacks. They're not, you know what I'm saying? If you have DK Metcalf right now, you're not too happy. If you have Tyler Lockett right now, you're not too happy. Chris Carson, you're not too happy. They just let go of Bobby Wagner. So it's like, it looks like full rebuild, but if they can give something for Deshaun, I think fantasy-wise, that team will be all right. And it automatically puts DK up top too, because let's be real, DK Metcalf is a fucking beast. But in the few seasons with Russell Wilson, it kind of didn't look like it wasn't working. You know what I'm saying? It was kind of just, being forced. And I think with Deshaun, it opens up a lot more to whereas, because one, Deshaun can run just like Russ. Deshaun can throw just like Russ. He has a cannon just like Russ. But the bigger thing that I think that Russ doesn't have, that Deshaun does have, is the height. And the height to just fit it into other, because he is pretty accurate. The height just to fit it into where Russ cannot fit it. And I think that helps DK out more. And of course, you got Tyler Lockett, who's a stud in this slot. And I think, Deshaun going there will be all right. Will be probably one of the best moves for them. Unless they're going into full rebuild, then I understand. Then don't do it. If you're going into a full rebuild, don't do it. Especially in the NFC West division right there, don't do it. But with the New Orleans Saints now, I feel like, okay, look, we're not yet at a rebuild and we're ready. Like, we're rebuilding as we're still competing. Our defense is still formidable. We have a good defense. I was just talking about to Mikey Mikester. We had an argument last night, I believe. And we're saying, he was on the side of don't go after Deshaun. And all I was saying, I think that they should go after Deshaun. And the fact is that they are going after Deshaun. They're going heavy after him. And his argument was that they should just go after defensive players, save their picks for the future, and, to build for that future years to come. And I'm okay. That is what, basically you would do if you're a GM, if you're a powerful team, a powerhouse team. And especially this was before Tom Brady. We knew Tom Brady was coming back. This is before. And I'm like, okay, you know what? The NFC South is not going to, it's not going to be there's no cure. There's no, what is the word I'm looking for? Anyway, there's no pure leading team right there. And, with the news that Tom Brady did come back, and this was my argument, was saying look, we got to win it now, bro, because our defense is good right now, but it's going to fall apart sooner, hopefully later rather than sooner. Our offense, we still got studs in our offense. Michael Thomas coming back. Kamara, he's still Kamara, you know what I'm saying? We lost a little bit on the offensive line. Maybe we need some more, role players that we could actually acquire. I know Jarvis Landry just got released by the Browns right now. So, hey, maybe you can get Jarvis at a discount. And then, but I know that Houston is asking for a lot. And I think the Saints will be willing to give up some picks this season for Deshaun, because this draft, as far as fantasy, this draft is not. It's not like past seasons, but as far as even in real life football, it's not a big draft. There's no one really that sticks out. No one person that really sticks out. So I think you can afford to give up these picks for this season and to go after Deshaun, get Deshaun, and then sign him for a 3-year contract. And there it is. And we're back in it. It's a win now league. And I think that for the past few seasons, the first team that I've seen do it, go all in on their team, was the Broncos. I'm not talking about Russell Wilson. I'm talking about those Peyton Manning years. They went all in on that defense. They went all in on that offense. And it worked out for them. They got to a Super Bowl twice. They won one Super Bowl. Of course, they got fucking smashed one Super Bowl, but it worked out for them. And I thought that that's good. You've seen it with the Buccaneers, with Tom Brady. They went all in. You've seen it with the Rams. They went all in. You know what I'm saying? So am I saying, does Deshaun make the New Orleans Saints a Super Bowl contender? As a fan, maybe. But in reality, there's still other things you need to go. But as far as how the league is going right now, it's a pass-first offense, a win-now league. You know what I'm saying? To win later, it's like you're playing conservative now. You're playing with it. It's not, you're just playing with your food. You're not eating it. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I'll save this food for later. It's not going to be that good. You know what I'm saying? It's just, you're going to have microwaved fucking food, grease all over that left. You know what I'm saying? The no flavor. And you got to eat that plate now, my boy. You've got to eat that plate now, my boy. But I'm really hopeful. Really, really, really hopeful. Another fantasy news that came out earlier was, this was yesterday actually. Michael Gallup. So the Cowboys, I believe traded Amari Cooper. Let me see. I'm not too sure. Let me go back up on it. Yeah. Cowboys traded Amari Cooper and a 6th round pick for the Browns' 5th and 6th. a lot of people were saying like, I thought that, oh, that's the disrespect. I thought that too. But then I started looking into it. Shout out to my boy, Joel Chibi Guevara. He told me that all his money's guaranteed though. So that's top notch shit though. I thought it was, fifth and sixth round and fifth and sixth round is not, I thought the disrespect for Amari Cooper, but all his money is guaranteed. So that's the bigger aspect. You know what I'm saying? Amari's doing it for himself. But yeah, so he was traded away. And I thought that, okay, they're going to sign Michael Gallup. Michael Gallup is a great receiver. He is, in real life, he's a great receiver when he's on the field. He has great route. He has great hands. He runs great routes, and he's learned from Amari, who's one of the best route runners right now. And you got CD on the other side. Well, they just signed Michael Gallup. Let me see if I can pull it up again. Sorry about that. 5 years, $662 million deal, bro. 5 years with Michael Gallup. I was screaming it last year. I was trying to go after Gallup last year. I was like, he's a sneaky player and he's good on the field. It looks, all the intangibles are there. Maybe, maybe I'll pick him up in my dynasty. Didn't pick him up. Gets hurt, Amari and CD and then Zeke and then Pollard and then Dak and then all this other fucking bullshit that's going on. It seems now that they know pretty much where they want to go. And they're going to be pass heavy for the next few seasons. The word is out on Zeke right now. He's not the same. I still have faith in Zeke, but the team obviously doesn't believe that right now. So signing Michael Gallup for 5 years tells me that they believe in him and they are going to have plays drawn up for this man, whether it's to get CD open or whether it's to get those first downs, whether it's just to keep the ball moving. It's clear and it as day right now that Michael Gallup is going to be a pivotal component to that offense. So I will be going after Gallup very high, especially in a dynasty. In a redraft, you can get him late, but that value is going to be great. I think he's studded, bro. And CD's gonna CD. CD Lamb's gonna CD, but I think it still puts a lot of value on that Cowboys offense, and it's still gonna be powerful. You don't have Amari Cooper to where you're gonna have to feed Amari, or you have to throw the ball this many times, or you have to see these many targets. I think Gallup is just that receiver. It's like, hey, I'm open. You could pass it to me. You could trust that I could catch it, and he's good, bro. He's a solid wide receiver. And I was screaming it last season. I'm a little late, but I'm gonna take a drink of my coffee. Cheers, ladies and gentlemen. Cheers, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out if you're watching the video right now. This me. Don't worry, we're gonna have some better shit up later. But all right, so moving on with the more NFL news. So I think when the day before or the day after when the Packers signed Rodgers, I don't know that timeline. Has been so much shit going on, bro, in the NFL. And the season ain't even started yet, bro. NFL reigns supreme. Y'all know that. So they franchise tagged Devontae Adams. And I thought, okay. And I started thinking, last season, I know Allen Robinson had gotten franchise tagged, but the big thing was that he doesn't have to accept it. He doesn't have to accept the franchise tag. He could ask for a contract or to be traded or to test the free agency, because free agency starts this week. And this was the word last year on Allen Robinson. Ended up taking the franchise tag, and now he's going to test free agency, whatever. This morning, Devontae Adams refuses to play under his franchise tag. And there's word that they are far apart from a deal right now. This is big news because, of course, if you're a Devontae Adams owner, if you're a Rodgers owner, you're kind of cool, but you need Devontae to take you over that top 5 level. It's not far-fetched to say that Devontae Adams will be testing out the free agency. You know what I'm saying? There's teams that need a solid receiver. One of them I could think of is the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders, in their even when they were in Oakland and their whole franchise, their whole storyline, they have proven that they go after big name receivers. You've seen it with Randy Moss, Jerry Rice. You've seen it with Antonio Brown. They went after Amari Cooper before they traded him. It's not far-fetched for them to go after Devontae. Yes, granted though, none of those receivers worked out in that squad, granted, but they still go after it. It's not far-fetched for the Raiders to go after Devontae even before he says, I'm testing out free agency. I don't think Devontae will be a free agent, even though it's not far-fetched to say it. I think he's more of that, I want to stay with Rodgers. Let's make a deal. And I think the deal he wants is similar, if not better, than the Michael Gallup deal. You got number one receiver who is arguably the best receiver in the game. Hands down, people like 99% of everyone agree that he is the best receiver in the game. You know, barring last season because he was injured, but you know he's the best receiver. You know what I'm saying? This is not news, you know? So for Michael Gallup to get a 5-year deal, $62 million or something like that, my bad, I forgot the number. It's not like, I think they should give him something similar, you know, or at least let him finish out his contract with Rodgers, because Rodgers is right there. He got his deal for 4 more years. And if I'm the Packers, dude, why the fuck not? You know what I'm saying? Even if you don't have the money or the cap to get someone else to help him out, at least make sure your stars is good. Make sure your people's is good. The people who get you there, who get you to the number one seed in the NFC for the past 3 seasons, who get you to the NFC Championship, to get you to the playoffs all the time, who has helped you with a fucking MVP quarterback 2 times, bro. My bad, I got an itch on my nose. But why not? And so for the news to come out to say that they are far apart from a deal, that's a little upsetting if you're a Green Bay Packer fan, you know what I'm saying? And if they can't get the deal, man, Adams is going to get picked up. Another team who I think can pick him up, man, and is waiting for that free agency, the New England Patriots. They're also another franchise who go after big named receivers, but on that side, it works out. Randy Moss. I mean, Antonio Brown, it worked out, but, you know, that was the allegations outside. Whatever, bro. Whatever. They need a number one receiver. They have a fucking pocket passing quarterback who's pretty accurate, pretty good. A running offense it sets up play action. A great fucking coach. A top 10 defense. If Green Bay cannot make a deal with Devontae Adams, I think, you know, these are the teams that he can go to. You know what I'm saying? He's not going to go to no team where they don't got a quarterback. Yeah, you want to talk shit about Derek Carr, you want. At least he's still better than the majority of these quarterbacks coming out right now. You know what I'm saying? So I do think that is a possibility that he goes to. If he doesn't stay with Green Bay, top 2 teams for me, Devontae Adams would be the Raiders and the Patriots. And that sweepstakes is going to be fucking big, bro. There's going to be money involved. Other big news, I mean, or not so big, but Cardinals, they signed James Conner. That's their boy, bro. It worked out last season. If you had James Conner in fantasy last season, you were happily surprised. You had probably not exactly what you wanted, but probably a little bit more, because he was scoring every time they were in the red zone, and they were in the red zone a lot. Granted, he got hurt later on in the season and the team kind of fucked up, but hey, he's still a good fantasy asset. He's still he was a top 15 running back. James Conner's cool. Barring his injuries, you know, maybe with this news, you know, he's going to be at a place for a certain amount of time. Barring this news, maybe you sell him high. Maybe you get him off of somebody who, you know, who doesn't believe in him too much, and you can get him for the low, or you sell him high. I think right now the value for James Conner is right at the peak moment before the season starts, before you realize, okay, maybe this is not who you want, or maybe this is who someone else may want. You know what I'm saying? I would trade him right now for the value, maybe get some high picks, maybe get some solid number 2 receivers, you know, and like I said, a hopeful tight end. This season is going to be the season of hopeful tight ends in fantasy. Mark my words, bro. Mark my words. Another Arizona Cardinal who was an Arizona Cardinal last year, Chase Edmonds signs with the Dolphins. That's cool because the Dolphins, they want to run the ball. You've seen it with a couple of seasons ago with Myles Gaskin, or Myles Gaskin was the top 15 running back just because of the work. You know what I'm saying? Like, just because of the work. Yes, I know that offense isn't really clicking too much, but they got capital right now. They have draft capital. Let's say they go all in on the O-line. They go all in on the defense. You know, they let their studs. You got Waddle right there. They just fucking franchise tag Gesicki. You still got Tua, who's still learning. I don't know why people are so off on Tua. He's still learning the game, and I thought he was cool most games. You know what I'm saying? When he was on the field. And Chase Edmonds, a veteran. Yeah, I could say he's a veteran running back in the game, and he gets you there. And if he doesn't get you there, you still get good fantasy value because he's the only one there right now. You got Salvin Ahmed. I believe they signed Bilal Muhammad or whatever his name is. No, Bilal Muhammad. He's the fighter. Kalen Balaj. I'm sorry. I'm a fucking idiot. I'll still take Chase Edmonds over all of them. He's a solid running back. He could run the ball. He's a satellite. He could catch the ball. And that's what you want in fantasy. That value for Miami right there, I think is good. You can go after and trade for him on the low right now. Maybe, say, oh, he's on a bad team right now. I would trade for him. I would definitely trade for him. I would trade not too much, but I would trade for him. So Chase Edmonds' value is peaking right now, I think. And I think before the season starts, you can get him for a low, or you could trade him for the high, because there are people who are very high on him last season. But we'll see. Let's see what happens. Another big news. So Mitchell Trubisky is signing with the Steelers, bro. Look. I am high on Mitchell Trubisky. I think he was a good quarterback when he was with the Bears. People say, oh, he only went to the Pro Bowl. That's not what I'm talking about. That's not what I'm talking about. I felt like when Matt Nagy was with the Bears, when he would intervene too much and try to throw in his fucking 2 cents in the plays and the playbook and not let things just go, I felt like that's what fucked up Trubisky, and it didn't let him, mold into be a leader or a quarterback. And it started making him, second guess himself, making horrible ball throwing decisions and fumbles and not running it. Because when Mitchell Trubisky when he would let loose, he was good. He was a perfect fucking quarterback for that offense. I thought the Bears were solid with all of them. You had the Allen Robinson, Mooney, Montgomery, and Trubisky years. Like, I thought that was cool. Like, it was a cool team. But the coach, and I cannot emphasize this enough, Just Incredible on Dead Space ENT doesn't think that the coach has a lot to do with it. You know what I'm saying? With how teams progress or don't progress. I think it has everything to do with it. Goes into Mitch Trubisky after the Bears, goes to Buffalo, becomes a backup to the Stallion baby, Josh Allen. And I think he learns a lot. I think he learned a lot from Josh Allen, not just Josh Allen, but Brian Abbott, their quarterback coach, and just learning on how to be efficient when things don't work out. You know what I'm saying? When you need to improvise, how can you be more accurate? How can you get things done? How can you keep the ball moving down the field? That's what the Bills do. You know what I'm saying? Literally, that's what they do. When the play don't work, they improvise. And how do you improvise? How do you stay on the course while making something up on the fly? You know what I'm saying? That's Josh Allen and the Bills right now. The Steelers need a quarterback, my G. You are not playing with Dwayne Haskins. And who's the other guy? Mason Rudolph. You are not playing with Mason Rudolph. Steelers have a top, I don't want to say top 10 defense, but it's around there. They have a good defense, solid receiving core, bro. Solid receiving core. A hopeful tight end, bro. And what's his name? The Muth, Tyler Thymuth. I forget his name. I'm sorry, but the Muth, it's Luth. That boy is going to be good. And then you got the fucking young stud, fucking Najee Harris, bro. My boy. I'm a Najee Harris owner. Yes, I was happy with him last season. You got what you got. And I was like, okay, I considered, people were saying, who do you consider the next best running backs? You know what I'm saying? I wanted to put Najee up there, but the quarterback situation it's not what it was, because Najee can pass. I mean, Najee can catch. Najee can run. He could block. And he can route run, bro. So, I mean, you just need a quarterback, my G. So if you're a Deontay Johnson owner and you got Mitchell Trubisky, look back at his season with the Bears. Look back at his season. Allen Robinson was a top 15 all those seasons. He was top notch, bro. And Allen Robinson and Deontay are kind of like the similar style of receiver where they're just going to route run, get to that first down, get to the open field, and just catch the ball. Deontay Johnson is one of the most underrated receivers in the game because of Ben Roethlisberger, because of the quarterbacks. Yes, I know Mitch Trubisky is not the answer, but it is definitely a step up and a answer to be like, okay, you know what? Let's put a quarterback who can actually run. Mitchell Trubisky can run, and I feel like when he runs and he scrambles and he makes the decision to run and get extra yards, I think that opens up his game more, because he is a confident player, meaning when he's not confident, he sucks, but when he's confident, he soars. So I think Mike Tomlin can put the fear of football into Mitchell Trubisky, get the pigskin in his hands, and let him operate this offense. That's all they need. Steelers were a quarterback away, bro. Steelers were a quarterback away, and now they got a quarterback who's decent enough, who was a starting quarterback. First season was great. Second few seasons after, not too great. And then, of course, you had the memes and social media saying all these things about him, and that puts fucking in the ears of the front office and all this bullshit. Okay, then you go to jail. You go to fucking football jail in Buffalo, where you do your time for a whole season. You just, you learn from your mistakes. You look at old video, and now you got another chance. And with a team like Pittsburgh, who has, I don't even remember a season where Pittsburgh didn't make the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Mike Tomlin right there, I think he's gonna put Trubisky on the right track. Not controlling too much like Matt Nagy. Fucking Matt Nagy, the fucking budget magician. No, I think he's going to put him on the right path to be like, look, bro, you don't need to think about this too much. Just go out and play football. You have all the skills. You can throw it. You can run. And you could give it off to your running back, who was a top 10 running back last season. Hey, if I'm a Deontay Johnson, Claypool, and Najee Harris, and Dymuth, I'm forgetting his name. If I'm all those owners, I am happy with Mitchell Trubisky, and I think this puts Trubisky back into fantasy value, where if you're in a 2-quarterback league, you can get Mitchell Trubisky late next season, and I think that will be all right. You know what I'm saying? That would be cool enough for you. But, I mean, let's see. What else is the news? What else is the news that is going on? Yeah, a couple of defensive players. There's not really too much fantasy hype right now. Well, I mean, that's it. But shout out to JPA football. That's where I'm getting the updates from. You know what I'm saying? I don't like all this other fucking, maybe this, maybe that. It's just straight up rumor. This guy may be going here. Breaking news. Boom. This guy going here according to this source. Like, that's all I want in my fucking my sports news. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I think with this, ladies and gentlemen, I will be letting you guys go. But don't forget to tune in to the Dead Space ENT. We will be releasing it later on today, the Batman episode, and then we had another episode where we're talking about free agency, Raiders, and all that. But we may have to reconsider and redo that because a lot has been happening, and it's just the beginning of free agency. So, still hopeful for Allen Robinson. Hopefully he goes to somewhere decent enough to where he could have some fantasy value. And yeah, that's all pretty much I'm looking for. But thank you for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. Please subscribe, rate, review, share, all that good stuff, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.